Stephanie Kammerman live at the Chicago Traders Expo. I am loving this show. We have the most amazing presenters here. I'm here with Anthony Crudele, who, it's so great to be with you.
It's great to be with you, Stephanie.
When we were off camera, we were just shooting so many amazing things together. I wish we would have filmed that, but we're going to try to repeat that, okay? So you host the radio show, Futures Radio Show.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people don't trade futures. Now, I personally trade stocks and options, but I watch futures like a hawk. I don't think I could trade stocks and options without watching them. I mean, that's how important they are. And they're trading all night long. Do you trade all night long? Number one?
I don't. I trade mostly my strategy. After I watch the first hour of the regular trading hours open, after that is when I'm the most active. I will trade at night, like if there's headlines, like I trade at night
Something
for Brexit
big.
or
or when the election. Were you buying with Icon?
The election night was actually a really good night for me, and I didn't really trade. I traded a little bit of S&P, but the 10-year, we talked about that's my favorite product.
Right.
I looked at that and I'm like, why is this rallying this much? This is so ridiculous. And it was obviously a flight to quality, a lot of concern when equities really getting hammered. So I started to look for, spots to start getting short treasuries, and that's where I was the most active and had some success that night.
So it's really about looking at the whole picture. Right, so you have your fundamentalists, right? You got your technicals, and like if you go to a cocktail party and you're a technical trader and you meet a fundamentalist, it's not good. It's not a good mix. It's like almost as if you got to be one or the other, I find. But I'm like you. I do like to look at the fundamental picture, but I trade on the technicals, right? Do you find that you trade on the technicals?
This is the big debate, and I think that if you on the futures side, too many people focus too much on technical. Now I am way more technical than I am fundamental.
Okay.
And I use technicals for my entries, my exits, my entire strategy comes from that. But I believe that you have to understand the fundamental theme of a market to be able to know what side you can potentially be more aggressive on. If you're, like I go back to treasuries again because that's what I trade the most. If the Fed is raising rates, I already know that there's a lot of people selling rallies, so there's a lot of edges I look for. Number one, how is the response when we get to resistance? Are there sellers? Maybe a lot of the bigger guys think that that's a good area to press. Also notice that when we start to break, because people think rates are going up, they could get crowded short. So the rallies off those lows could be much more fierce. So don't be in a hurry to sell a bounce if you see a move to the downside start to unwind. And I get all of that from looking at COT data and looking at, just like I said, the primary theme of the market. What's the fundamental theme?
Right. So you see interest rates going up. I mean, that's what the Fed says they're going to do, right? They're going to raise interest rates. How many hikes are they going to do this year?
I don't know about that. So that goes back to, this is the thing is, I just watch the action.
Right.
So what I noticed and continue to notice is the reaction to my resistance levels is much more sensitive than to support. When you get to support, you get these little bounces. But at resistance, they come right off. And so in those moments, I'm entering my position quicker and more aggressively. And on the bounces, I'm entering less aggressively and smaller. Right?
I've seen massive, we're talking massive dark pool activity in all different kind of bonds. All different. Something big is going to happen. I'm just letting you know, like what I see, and I see it starting to happen right now. This has been happening over a period of a couple weeks. The biggest prints ever. So a big move is going to happen in the bond. So stay tuned for that. So how do we find you?
You can find me most of the time on Twitter at Anthony Crudele.
Which bars do you go to? Like, where do we find you? No,
what bars?
Nobody ever says that. Well, you can find me at it's on the corner. But yeah, we can find you at anthonycrudele.com.
No, Anthony Crudele on Twitter at Anthony Crudele, and also, of course, you can check out futuresradioshow.com. I host new shows every Monday and Thursday.
Who are you hosting this week? What do you got going on?
Well, today, actually, I'm going to be doing a live event here with my friends Chris Smith and Brent Nord, two independent traders. I have a ton of respect for them. We're going to be live at 3:30, live streaming.
Awesome. I look forward to that. Thank you so much. It's been so great to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, awesome. Good stuff.